Good morning, happy Monday, and welcome into my studio for this week. Monday is fast becoming my favorite day of the week because it is my studio day where I get to paint all the way through the day. I'm madly trying to finish this painting in time for Mental Health Week. I'd love to be able to finish it with plenty of time for it to be able to dry before then, so fingers crossed. I'm trying to get it done pretty much by the end of today if I can, if not by the end of this week. So at the moment, I'm just pretty much doing all the little finishing details on the face. So the edge where the hair meets the skin is something that I'm trying to spend a bit of time refining today, as well as all the little flyaway hairs coming across the face. So we'll see how it goes and hopefully it comes together. Alright, so I thought I would come into the wellness room at Redbubble and just have a little bit of a chat with you guys about the meaning behind this painting, what inspired me to create it, and what it means to me. So essentially this painting is about a time in my life where I felt like my mental health was really struggling. As we all go through at times, I think there's a common misconception that mental health or mental health awareness is only for people who have a mental illness, which is just not the case. I'm very, very lucky that I haven't experienced mental illness personally, but it has affected my family, a lot of my loved ones, close friends, and I think it is something that really does affect us all. I was inspired to create this painting because I wanted to express the way I felt during a recent time in my life. I had the idea to use a black hole to represent the way that I was feeling, and I depicted it in the hair of this piece, as a symbol for our mind or our brain or our consciousness. A black hole is something that sort of sucks in or draws in everything around it, and I wanted to use that as a symbol of like a negative thought. I was going through this time when I had a lot of automatic negative thoughts occupying my brain to the point where it was such a habit. My brain was just getting sucked in, if you will, into this black hole of negative thoughts, and it was kind of just tarnishing my whole experience of life. which really sucked. And I guess the galaxy represents the rest of our thoughts, and the stars being sort of the brighter points in consciousness, and our positive and our happy and our good thoughts all getting sucked into this black hole. I wanted to use a circular board for this piece because I like the idea of a cyclical kind of representation, that we all sort of wax and wane and go through times when we're having really good mental health and not so good mental health. The use of grayscale to depict the figure in this piece, rather than using realistic flesh tones, like the black hole is almost sucking the life and the color out of this person during this time. The teardrop was kind of my way of representing how I deal with these feelings. So whenever I find myself sort of lacking in mental wellness, I tend to cry. I tend to cry a lot. So this is kind of my way of representing that. For me, I need a physical release for sort of negative mental experiences, and crying works really, really well for me. I actually hate crying, but I wanted to use that symbol to express the release of these emotions for me. And yeah, so this piece is really close to my heart. I'm really, really happy with how it's turned out. It's pretty much nearly done. I've added in those finishing touches. I've signed my initial, which is normally a really good sign that it is done. That blue tape still needs to come off, which will reveal the beautiful timber texture around the piece, but I like to wait until it's completely dry before I remove that tape, just to avoid any chance of smudging the paint, which I absolutely do not want. This piece is up for sale on my website. I'm doing a bit of a pre-release so that if you would like to jump on and purchase it before it actually finishes drying and before I take the tape off, you have a chance to jump on there and do that now. All right, that's pretty much it in the studio this week. Thank you so much for joining me. If you'd like to stay more up to date on what I get up to, please subscribe to my mailing list by hitting the link below. And I would just like to thank you so much for sharing the experience of creating this painting with me. It's one that is very, very close to my heart, and I will plan to release an entire time lapse from start to finish of this painting so that you can watch it back all in one go.